Hello everyone, and welcome to my no damage run in Cryo on the nightmare difficult setting with an S rank, good ending and without any unlockables. During this run I will try my best to provide you with useful commentary about the strats and rats used in this video, so anyone can use them as a walkthrough if they'd like. So let's get started, and I hope you'll enjoy the run. Alright, so first things first, to get an S rank in this game, you need to beat the game in less than 2.5 hours, use only 2 syringes in the entire game, an accuracy of 90% and over. You can only save 5 times, and you have to play on nightmare difficulty setting. By playing on nightmare you cannot save more than 5 times, so that won't be much of a problem. We are doing a no damage run, so we were not going to use any syringes whatsoever. So our only main problems are the 2.5 hours and the accuracy. Mostly the accuracy. Alright, so this is the first area of the game, and because there are no threats here until after you find your first save point, I will take some time to explain some of the mechanics of the game and some of the tricks you will see. Okay, so the first trick I'm going to talk about is the dodge jumping, also known as the bunny hopping in this game. To perform a dodge jump, you basically have to sprint, jump and dodge at the same time, or like 0.5 seconds after start sprinting, like this. And by doing this you gain a lot of speed, and it makes it easier to dodge enemies, especially in tight corners like the apartments. And it is really important you have to learn to do at least 2 or 3 hops consistently for this nightmare run. As for the papers, the one in the alley is always the password, and the one on the staircase is always the username. These two are randomized, so you always have to pick them up and you cannot skip them. Back to the dodge jump, I would recommend changing your settings to something that is convenient to press all 3 buttons at once, so it feels really natural and it is easier for you to perform it. I have set my dodge to mouse 5 and my jump to mouse wheel down and sprint to shift, so I can press them all 3 at once without needing to think about it. I will post all my settings on this game on the description below, so if you need some binds or my field of view settings, you can find them down there. Also, it's important to note that almost all the passwords in this game are randomized, so you cannot skip most of the sequences, like the elevator password or this locker over here. So you have to remember them from when you find them or check your notepad. Coming up are the first 3 enemies of the game, and we are not going to fight them, we're going to dodge them. So to dodge this guy you have to make him trigger an attack, then stick to the left wall, slash him once and go around him to the right. To dodge this guy, sit on the right wall, wait for him to come, slash him once and go to the left. And this guy you can just run past through most of the time, if not always. Okay, for this room you need to stay on the right wall right here and go around this guy. He will never attack you like this. Wait for him to come closer, slash him once. I missed here, but it's okay. And then slash this guy to prevent him from hitting you. Sometimes the third guy as well might be there, but you can slash him as well and go around him. There's plenty of space. Also here is a little bit of KZ if you like. You don't really have to do this, it's just for show-offs and to save a little bit of time. So I decided to do my first save over here, because you do not really need one of the 5 saves. You can put it wherever you feel like. And I used it here because I didn't feel like doing all this intro section again, in case I got hit in the apartments and I had to restart. Alright, segment number 2. Now this segment is basically the whole apartment section up until the boss fight. It's not really difficult per se, but the beginning melee fights can be quite annoying, especially for newer people. As you can see on the knife fights, you have to start the attack just a little bit before you get face to face to the enemy, so that you can get this pattern of the attack and dodge down and do it without getting any damage. It's a little bit difficult to get down at first, but with some practice you can get it done and be pretty consistent with it, I believe. Also, one more thing I want to note that is really important is that as you may have noticed from the intro of the game with the 6 first enemies and the knife fight over here, the first time you hit most enemies with a melee animation, it will cause them to get stunned. This is very useful in the apartment section and for the whole game really, to help us maneuver around most of the enemies. Over here you straight jump around the exploding baby. You should get this done pretty fast, it's not as hard as it looks. Now for the second knife fight, this one is kind of annoying at first because you will get stuck in a lot of furniture or the door. What I like to do is I go to the opposite door of the room on the balcony and just kind of stun lock to get 3 hits as fast as possible, and then I try to keep myself as far as I can from the door that I came in, so that I can get the attack dodge pattern down. Now for this enemy, I spawn him with a crouch, and now I just line up myself with the door on the back, and I just do like forward attack and back. If you get the partner down, you can just stun lock him there and just knife him to death. And these basically are the 3 only knife fights you have to do on the apartment section. They can be pretty annoying at first, as I mentioned, but this is how I do them and I get them done pretty consistently. Now for this baby, you want to bait him out of the kitchen and then go in there so you can trigger the wall breaking. Use exactly the movement that I use here because it's really precise and you can easily get hit. Now for this door, when you enter it back, you get the Glock. You want to buffer a left dodge input, so the baby won't follow you from the other room and you get hit during the cutscene. And yes, that can happen actually. So be really careful with that. For these babies, I dodge around and I go straight to the door because they can follow you down the stairs and you do not want that to happen. So to be safe, I just go in and out of the door to respawn them on their original position, so I can avoid them. Here on the right, there's some block ammo. You can punch this dude in the face and use the stun animation I mentioned before to get some Glock ammo. Now this is where we first encounter the faster, and you can easily get rid of her if you crouch jump on the balcony and just take your time to shoot her down. She takes 9 bullets from a Glock ammo to die on Nightmare, and she also does not get affected by the stun trick that I mentioned before, so keep that in mind. It's really difficult to get around her. You have to like dodge. This one you can completely ignore and go to the door. Now for this one you want to bait her, and when you see her getting closer to the wall you have to jump around her from the left. I got stuck here a little bit, but it's okay. For this one you want to jump around so the other one won't follow you on your back, and take your time to shoot this one in the leg so you can proceed. It's really difficult to dodge her, so you might as well just kill her. You can spare some block ammo. Now for these 2 enemies you can completely ignore them and run towards the door you got the clock from. But Now on the next door, an enemy will break it down, so you have to act pretty fast. You have to sprint, jump above him, go to the door, and then go back out. And during the loading screen, buffer a right dodge to go towards this door pretty fast so you won't get hit. And now, do not attack this enemy, do not stun him, because we need to stun him when we come back here. If you punch him now and you cannot stun him before, he will almost 100% hit you every time. So you have to save this stun chance for when you come back. Now the basement is pretty straightforward. This is also where we meet the Drowner, I believe it's called. And it's pretty much harmless as long as you keep your distance and you don't have a gun in your hand. Now to get around them, I just wait for them to get out of the door frames so I can have a room to jump around them. Just be careful not to get too close and you will be fine. Now on this room to the left there is a Glock magazine, which I don't go for because there's an enemy over there, a baby. And I don't recommend going for it. It's pretty difficult and it's not worth it. You have plenty of Glock ammo before the boss. Now for this one, stay to the right wall, wait for it to get close and jump around on the left. Pretty easy dodge. This is the dude I saved the punch for, so I can get around him now pretty easily. No worries. Here head very fast for the door, so you won't get attacked. And now you want to get on the shelf of the television, so you can safely watch it without getting attacked by the enemy. Now for me, you're supposed to have it on your subtitles, the code, but it's bugged, so I have to look it up. And now you want to also check this door for one more Glock magazine, pretty free. And go upstairs, put in the code and get ready for the boss fight. Now if we have done everything as intended, we should end up with 10 mags and one full Glock mag inside the gun, which is the most ideal outcome of the whole apartment section. And now for our first boss fight, this hour, and it's not difficult actually, it's just a bit tedious and nightmare because you have to stun him with a knife and you have to do this like 7 to 8 times I think, something like that. The dodge is not pretty difficult, you have a really big time window to dodge him, and when he goes down you want to pull out your Glock. Oh, I fumbled a little bit here, I accidentally pulled out the dual wield, which we do not want. But anyway, the general idea for this boss is that you just stab him until he gets knocked over, then pull out the Glock, empty a magazine on his eye on the back, and if you can also hit it with the butt of your gun for a little bit of extra damage. For example, this was a perfect cycle, so you have to repeat this, I believe, 8 more times if I'm not mistaken, and you're pretty much done with the boss and the second segment as well, so yeah. Now this is where we will make our first save, second save actually, sorry. And you want to reload your weapon, drop your knife, and make your second save. And this will be the end of segment number 2. Segment number 3. Alright. We start by crouch jumping over this dude, going to the door to grab some very much needed Glock ammo. Now buffer a right input when you go out so you won't get hit. Jump over this guy and proceed to the next doors. Okay, so this part is a little bit tricky, so first thing first, grab the nightstick and go as far forward and to the left of the fence as possible so you can trigger every enemy in this area, and then jump around them and quickly go to the right as sharp of a turn as you can so you can block them on the garbage bins. The keypad here is one of the few in the game that the password is always the same and the code is 5247, so you don't have to use the newspaper and listen to the phone call, you can just skip it. Now for the enemies in the next few areas, until you get to the caves at least, you can just dodge them, just go around them, not a big threat, easy dodges. There's a small known trick here, and you see I am running like with my face towards the wall before. This is, I think that's a trick they use in speedruns, if I'm not mistaken. It's you're basically like gliding to the wall and you go a little bit faster. No need to do this, I just did it mechanically. What comes next is the cave area, and this area basically introduces us to an amazing mechanic this game has, which is the random spawns. And this makes no damage, no save rounds almost impossible because you can never be 100% sure that the strat you will use will work because the spawns will be random. So how these random spawns work is that this area, for example, has 7 possible spawns for the hammer dudes, but only 3 of those spawns will be active each time. Usually it's 2 hammer dudes outside the rooms and 1 hammer dude will spawn either in the keypad room, the Glock ammo room, or the lighter room. It's really unusual, but sometimes they can spawn all 3 of them outside, so if you see 3 of them outside, the rooms will be clear. This makes the runs pretty inconsistent and it can be pretty difficult because you have to adapt on the fly, so always keep your Glock ready. Now for these crawlers, I just like to bait them out and go on top of them and melee them. If you are sliding down from here like I did here, you can just crouch jump and just keep tapping W slightly so you won't go off. That's how it works for me. Now this one I chose to shoot him because I have plenty of Glock ammo on me right now. If you are short on Glock ammo for any reason, you can just bait him out and do the same thing to him. Also don't forget the shotgun shells, very important. Now what I like to do here is that I sit here and wait for this guy to charge me, go and pick up the things from the table, and go around the lamp so they will hit the lamp as they come close to me, and this basically works for me every time, so yeah. Now new enemies have spawned in the area that we came through before, so have your phone ready in case you need to punch someone to stun them. Do not punch anyone right now, hold it for later. Now over here I got the worst possible RNG that the hammer don't spawns in here. If this happens, you can do it as I do. It's pretty difficult, but what can you do? And pick up the key, and when you go out, immediately punch the guy on the left. Go around these guys, use the door and the key, and you're right. Usually it's a lot easier because you can take your time in the lighter room, and when you go out you can dodge him pretty easily. But I showed you the worst case scenario, so if you can do that, you can do the other one, I guess. Now for the maze, you can do it like I do, just in this particular order, and you will never lose from this boss. But be careful, I recommend you jump on the valves when you go on top of them, like when you are really close to them, otherwise you will get soft locked and it can be pretty annoying. Now in the next room I found out that if you do not move and just use your mouse to pick up the saw and go out, the two enemies over here in the locker room will not spawn, so you don't have to worry about them. They're not difficult to dodge per se, but it's a small help. Now for the next area you have to take some unavoidable damage, unfortunately. It does not count towards the end at the stat screen, so we're good. So as long as you don't get crippled by the damage you have taken here, you should be absolutely fine. Now we're gonna use our shotgun to take care of a few enemies. Starting with this guy, drop down, bait him out, and then jump back up. We're completely safe from him and you can easily kill him with 3 shotgun shells. Now this vent system has 3 possible spawns. 2 crawlers can spawn in your way. If you see them, just kill them with the shotgun, no big deal. The other random spawn is a hammer dude that can spawn in this small room, so take your time to clear your angles, like I did, so he won't catch you off guard. So for this next area it's pretty difficult to explain, so what you have to do is that you stand over here and you have to jump, break this as fast as you can with the crouch, and dodge, avoid this guy, which is a random spawn, and basically stun anyone that comes in your way. These spawns that you saw are random, sometimes they are there, sometimes they're not. This is one of the most difficult parts of the game for me, as it requires a lot of on the fly thinking to get through this, so yeah, good luck with that. Now as some of you may know, there's an M4 in the room that this aura spawns. I don't really need it, so I didn't get it, but if you really want an M4 because you don't have ammo or you need it for carcass or anything, you can go back to the room that you came in and go in and go back out, and when you come out the showrunner will have despawned and you can take it pretty safely without worrying about him. Now for this next section there are 2 exploding babies you need to worry about, so I dodge forward to don't get hit. You can actually walk without needing to dodge, but I just want to be safe. Bait this exploding baby out, go over here and then run, and dodge this one and proceed to the door. A door will break on the right, ignore it. Now you want to go in the door by jumping, so the exploding baby won't hit you. Grab the ammo and then stay on the left, wait for the enemy to run, and when you see it closing to you, run to the right. When you go out, jump immediately so you won't get hit, and you should be good. A bit of a tough room, but you can get it done. Over here I bind my shotgun to the second slot because you want it to be ready. So you bait the drowner to come here, dodge him to the left, immediately take out your shotgun and then crouch. Shoot the baby, and then on the second shot you have to crouch to kill it with 2 shells. If you don't crouch, you cannot kill it with 2 shells and he will hit you almost every time. Now after grabbing the hunting rifle and the key, when you go out, be careful, an enemy will have spawned on your left, bait its attack, and then dodge to the right. It's the safest way to do it. Now in the Waspet Gardens, 3 beds have spawned, a new enemy, and you have to take them out. I highly recommend to do so. You can take them out by shooting them once in the head with a hunting rifle and then with 3 bullets from the gun. Pretty easy, but if you're not careful they can catch you off guard with a projectile.
Hello? Hello? I can't hear you. Who is this? How did you get my number? Can you help me? What the fuck is going on in this town? You're... what? You're up on the roof? I can't hear what you're saying. Hello? Hello, are you still there? Ah, shit.
For this garden area, what I like to do is that I basically trigger every hammer dude in the garden, and now I just run around in circles, like playing Call of Duty Zombies, sort of. And what you hear behind me is basically them hitting each other because they stop to hit me and they end up hitting their mate. So do this for like 2 to 3 turns, and occasionally turn around to shoot them like once or twice maybe. But be careful when you turn around, you should only be turning around when it's a straight line, so you don't get stuck in some tree and get hit. Now you can use the shovel to get some extra ammunition. What you really need are the hunting rifle rounds in this one. The other ones are pretty optional, depends on the Glock ammo you have on you at the moment. But you should always do those digs first that are in the garden, and you should leave the key for last, because when you use the dig on the key, two beds will spawn on the garden and it will make it harder for you to navigate it without getting damaged. Now be careful when you're crossing the gardens. Try not to line yourself up with the beds, because they can easily catch you off guard with a projectile and insta-kill you. Now before you go to the boss fight, don't forget about this M4 ammo, very useful for much later. Now there's an exploding baby here. I like to jump down when it goes to the left and take the right. Carefully jump across, watch out for the bed, and don't try to instantly jump across there. You will hit an invisible wall and fall to your death pretty miserably. I don't recommend it. Now for the Carcass boss fight. It's not a difficult boss fight, but at the start, like here, there is a very slight chance that he has already shot a projectile when you spawn, when you start the boss fight, I mean. If this happens, you're pretty much screwed. But it's a slight chance. If you start and you are holding like the S button, it reduces the chance of it happening, at least in my case. I'm not quite sure about it. But what you have to do is that you immediately go back here when you start and just pick him behind this rooftop and slowly bring his health down to 0. And that's pretty much the whole boss fight. Use all of your hunting rifle ammo and finish him off with your block. Now once you're done with the boss fight, you're pretty much done with the section. You use the rooftops on your right to go back down and get the keycard. Again, be careful when crossing the gardens, the beds can easily catch you off guard, do not line yourself up with them. And get the keycard and use it on the door, on the Waspad Gardens. Now to my left there is one Glock magazine, which I decided to leave for later because I didn't really need it. But if you decide to go for it now, be careful because a hammer dude will spawn when you grab it and you have to punch him to go around him. So this is where we will make our third save, and this is the end of segment number 3. Alright, segment number 4, and this is where we're introduced to everyone's favorite enemy in the game, the gunner. Now this area is really RNG heavy. It can have from 3 gunners to like 6, even 7 if you're really unlucky. But by saving in the spot we did, it ensures that every time you load your save, you will have the same exact spawns as you did when you die. So this eliminates most of the RNG, but it won't be the same as it is in the video. Some of them will be the same, some of them will not. So you have to do a little bit of trial and error to find out the spawns that you have when you saved, learn them, and then you decide you either just shoot everyone slowly by taking your time. If they are really close, you can do this trick where you bait them to the corner and they come really close. And when the suiciders come really close, they basically shoot themselves. So yeah, check the spawns, take your time, and see what works for your sim, because it will not be the same. There is a hammer dude here on the left, you can completely ignore him now and afterwards after you pass through again. Now at the end of this corridor there is a VP70. I really don't like the VP70 for nightmare runs. It only shoots in 3 bursts, the recoil is too much, and I just don't go for it. Over here I crouch because I think I mentioned it in the start of the video. If I haven't, I'm sorry. When you're crouched, your stamina recovers faster, so yeah, I just do that to recover some stamina to do the parkour required to proceed to the next area. As you can see, the easiest way to take care of this gunner is to shoot him through the window frame, which he cannot shoot you from, but you can easily land a headshot on him and never have to worry about him ever again. Now for the school area, when you take the fuse, immediately get out of here. And you want to run down, take the right. And now this spot in between these two tables, this is your heaven spot. They cannot come in here, you cannot damage you in any way. You can easily just use the shotgun and take care of them. You will not use or need the shotgun anymore after the school section, so you can deplete all your shotgun sets and kill as many as you can without wasting any Glock ammo and without having to worry about dodging them or luring them around. Now after your shotgun is depleted, you can drop it, head to the double doors and take the classroom key. Also, I forgot to mention that the school section, all the spawns are RNG, so you can have like from 4 enemies to maybe 8 sometimes. So yeah, this one though this one will always break the door. But with this spot between the tables you should be fine no matter how many enemies will appear. You can just lure everyone here and dispose of them pretty easily. Now I wanted to say that it's really common that an enemy spawns in here where the key is. If this happens, the safest way to do it is that when you go in, you drop your Glock to the ground and you take out your hunting rifle and you shoot him once, and when you shoot him immediately grab the Glock and finish him off with 3 to 4 bullets. I think it needs 4. This will allow you to skip the reloading animation of the hunting rifle where he cocks the gun, and you can take care of him pretty safely that way, if that happens to you. Now until you go to the subway, there are no enemies to worry about, no showrunner, no nothing, so you can relax here for a bit. Now when you come to the subway, you basically want to ignore every enemy that you see. It has some RNG spawns like those 2 babies that don't spawn, but the RNG spawns on the subway are pretty easy to dodge. You have plenty of space to move around, so you don't have to worry about many enemies over here. You can just proceed with the objectives. Over here I take my gun out because a droner can spawn in this area, so be ready to kill it if it does. Now in the console, always use the right lever first and then the left, because if you use the left the time lock door will close, because the cutscene will cut a lot of time out from the time lock door, because it's a bit weird, but this is how the engine works, so yeah, just do the right console first and then the left one. In this small section, two faster can spawn here. The one that you see and one behind over there. Both of them spawned. These are two RNG spawns. It's not sure they will spawn, but you can clear them out pretty easily. You shoot them in the leg with the gun. Be careful when you go out here now, because I bet we have spawned and you just want to jump towards the door as fast as you can. And now we have reached the infamous flare section of Cryo here. And I don't really have much to say about this section. Gameplay wise it's pretty straightforward. For this whole flare section you basically have to worry about 4 enemies, and 3 of them are in the same area, and we will talk about them when we get there. But for now, just navigate using the flares. You have plenty of flares to work with, no worries. Now this is one of the 2 sections that have an enemy in the flare section. So you want to throw a flare there and bait one of the enemies out. Go down here and kill her with 6 bullets, reload, bait one more out, and steadily shoot her down. And now for the 3rd enemy, light a flare on the end of that hallway. And you want to go, bait her out, steadily shoot her. I think I missed a bullet over here, but it doesn't matter, it's all good. And you're good to go. A little known fact, if you tap this dead cat like 4 or 5 times, I think you can unlock the Hello Kitty for Simon. Now this is where the 4 earth enemy spawns, so drop your flare, don't get caught off guard. And when the animation ends, just unload 6 bullets on the hair. Pretty easy stuff, nothing to worry about. Now when you get to the doctor, you want to grab the battery, the key and the ammo. And after you reload the phone, you want to take care of this bed. It will really open the whole left lane of the subway and you can pass through this particular subway a lot, so it's really helpful. About these beds on the right, I don't really bother with them that much because they're pretty dodgeable the next time you get here. So yeah, you can kill one of them if you want, but it's not really necessary. I prefer to save my hunting rifle ammo. Also, you might have noticed I am like climbing the stairs too fast. To do this, you basically have to dodge and crouch at the same time as you walk up the stairs, and you will fly across it if you want to do it. It's not necessary, but it's cool. Here I take my time to clear my angles because there are 3 possible spawns that a faster can spawn. It's usually none, 1 or 2. All 3 of them, this cannot happen. Now for this section I avoid every tall enemy, and there are 3 hammer dudes. I try to guide them around a bit, shoot them once with a hunting rifle and finish them off with a Glock. Take your time with them, don't be hasty, and you should be all good. When you start breaking these planks, always keep an eye on your back because a tall enemy could have easily crippled up behind you. They usually get stuck on the fences because their pathfinding is a bit broken, but in case it might sneak up on you, keep an eye out. Don't forget about these beds again, don't line yourself up. Take care. Now we're back to the Waspet Gardens, where we first met the beds, and new enemies have spawned. A faster and 3 gunners. To take care of the faster you can, as usual, shoot her in the leg, and destroy your rear spike experiment as well. And then for the first gunner you can easily just land a headshot, he cannot spot you through the fence. For the next one I like to line myself up with the graphical twin and land an easy headshot here, and for the third one you can just shoot him to the plant. Possibly the 3 easiest gunners in the game, nothing to worry about if you do it exactly as I did. Now in this area a new enemy has spawned, the books, and they attack you telepathetically, so we have to improvise. What I like to do is that I drop my Glock, as I said before in the school section, to avoid the cocking animation. And to kill one of them you basically have to shoot them in the chest 2 times with a hunting rifle and once with a pistol. And I recommend doing it exactly as I do it right here, because if you do it any other way the chances are you will get hit at least once. so you want to do exactly every move as I do over here. Now in the gunner area from where we started, new enemies have dropped. 4 hammer dudes, I think they are 4, if I remember correctly. Now to get rid of them, the easiest way to do it is that you go here and jump on the edge of the staircase, and then we just roll down, and you can just stay there and they will stare at you indefinitely, and you can just shoot them down. Take your time. You have plenty of block ammo on your disposal, so don't worry about that. Now after you're done with them, a gunner has spawned on the fuse, so this is the best way to take care of him without wasting a hunting rifle around. It works every time. You just basically use the automated stairs to slowly help you pick him and just give him an easy headshot. So what I like to do is that I drop my fuse over here, so I have one more inventory slot left free to carry over my hunting rifle and my M4 that I will find in a bit. Now you really need to take your time here. 2 to 3 gunners can spawn, and their positions are pretty finicky and random, so really take your time here by clearing your angles. I recommend using the hunting rifle. The pistol is not very reliable when it's that close. So yeah. Over here a hammer dude would come flying through the window. I try to bait him a bit. Oh no, I was just messing around with my inventory, never mind. He will come flying through the window, and he charged me pretty fast actually. He usually gets stuck in the bus and he allows me to shoot him with a hunting rifle. That was not the case here, so if this happens to you, don't panic, just take your pistol out and eliminate him like any other hammer dude you have already eliminated so far. Now, before you jump out of the bus, always check the spot. Really check the spot that a gunner can spawn. He can easily catch you off guard, so you can just jump spot through the bus and clear it out with a hunting rifle this way, pretty easily and consistently. Now in this apartment block building, you want to come down here and take the tack light for the Glock. Really useful for the upcoming area. And on the top floor there is a Glock magazine. If you really need it, you can get it now or you can save it for later. I got it now, I think. So yeah, do whichever you prefer. When you go through this door, always be ready because faster can spawn on your right. In my case, she spawned close to the door and have to leave. But yeah, take care. It can be really close to the door that you come out from. When you come out from this door, buffer a left input dodge and just sit above here on this vantage spot and take care of the 3 hammer dudes on the left to make space to easily use the key on the door. Be careful about this hammer dude coming charging from the right. He just spawns like on the bus stop and he just comes attacking you when you get down from the vantage spot. So take care. Now for the next section, it's some droners. You just want to take care of them one time, one magazine each, and I recommend taking the path that I took over here, keep to the left, because there is one more droner on the right over here and you can get him up if you go too close to the right. Now over here there is a very large area with many of these enemies, but if you just stick to the right wall, you will only get this guy up and the other one blocking the exit behind the pipes, this one over here. So you just wanna keep hiding that wall so no more will spawn and you don't have to waste all your Glock ammo on them. A real shame. Now when you come in here to grab the ladder, you have to immediately dodge back so these 2 hammer dudes that spawn in there won't start chasing you. And you can just place the ladder and go inside. Now before I save, I like to grab the ladder from the basement first because there is no enemy basically. The only way you can get damaged is by drowning, which is actually pretty difficult if you just stay close to the surface. So yeah, go to the basement, grab the ladder and set it up. Now after we've set up the ladder, we want to go out, and this is where we will take a breath and make our fourth save. And this will be the end of segment number 4. Yeah, I think it's number 4. Okay, segment number 5, and actually I believe this is the easiest segment in the game, if you know what you're doing. So we're gonna start by positioning ourselves just right so we can only see this book's arm, and steadily taking down with our hunting rifle and one bullet from the glove. After this we have to take care of one more book in this hallway, so drop down your block, shoot him twice with the hunting rifle and finish him off with one bullet. Now when you cross this door, be careful on your right, just smack him once in the face and you should be okay. Now this area is a little bit tricky, so what you have to do is very quickly go up the stairs, shoot this guy once, and when you shoot him, he's supposed to go to the door. If he doesn't go to the door, just smack him once in the face like I did and go to the left around him. Now this guy just make 3 steps back, wait for him to charge, smack him once in the face, and then go through. For the guy on the balcony, he's supposed to run to the door and you can just interact with the door above him. If he does what he did in this example, you can use the backup strat, which is to smack him once and go to the left. You should be fine. Now for this section, while you wait, if you keep on going forward, you will basically be resetted on the position you dropped from the ladder. So what you can do is like count this pillar gate thingy, you have to count 6, and on the 6th you just stay here like I do, and when the dialogue stops you can proceed and you will be the closest to the door as possible. While you wait for the upcoming fight, prepare your M4 to a slot of your desire and your Glock, have them ready, and I highly recommend you switch your M4 to single shot instead of burst.
He told me the other day that he'd been seeing hallucinations, but couldn't give a clear description of what he'd been seeing. Naturally, I didn't take him seriously. I saw no evidence to suggest this was the case, but upped his prescription anyway. He claims the extra medication helps.
Alright, after the doctor is done talking, go to the door and immediately go to the left. And now, if you go to the left, you will not be targeted by everyone at once, so you can steadily take all 4 of them down. Patiently, just one at a time, be careful. Now for these ones, I just like to bait them out. They are really inconsistent on how you should do it. Sometimes they don't see you, sometimes only one of them sees you, sometimes both of them. So just carefully run around circles and just try to bait them out and go to the door. And I highly recommend you interact with the door so it will 100% open. Also, it might seem that you can simply jump above them, but you have to crouch jump, so bear that in mind if you need to do so. Now, after you're done with the apartments, you have to go back to the subway. Little to no Mao threats await you on your way back, so yeah. When coming back, don't forget about these enemies in this area. The best way to avoid them is just to crouch jump on the pavement like this. Easy stuff. Also, before you go out, on your right, over here, yeah, here, on the end of the hallway there is one Glock mag, but there is a drowner there. You do not really need it, but in case you are short in ammo you can go for it, but be careful for the drowner. Now once again, these two beds are still here, don't forget about them. They never hit you actually, but just, you know, just don't stay still. Now this upcoming section has, I believe, 4 gunners, but we're only going to fight with 2 of them. So to take care of the first gunner consistently, just go here, as close as you can to the door, and shoot him once in the head. Very safe strat, works every time. And now this guy on the end of the hall, he will charge you. You can easily see him, just take him out with a headshot. Now I recommend you crouch and go under this platform, because there is one gunner on your left and he can easily headshot you. You can kill the other 2 gunners for ammo if you really need to do so, but you have plenty of ammo to deal with the train section, so I highly recommend you don't mess with them. Not worth the risk, in my opinion.
Train to Newcastle is delayed due to a signal malfunction.
Now normally when you grab this hammer, like 4 enemies spawn, I don't remember how much, but if you grab it carefully behind this pillar, if you grab it without crossing the pillar, I mean, you will not trigger the spawns of the enemies, and we don't have to worry about them or waste any ammo. Now for the upcoming section, it's nothing difficult, just watch your step a bit, follow the route as I do, and you should be fine. Here's the door puzzle. The solution is car, wheelchair, gun and book, or left, right, front, if you like. Now the maze, it can be confusing at first, but there is a simple way to do it. So you just start by going right and then following this path here. You make a small circle. No, I got confused there, I'm sorry. You go up and then left, and careful for this guy, he will always be there. You don't need to go very fast. And now you want to go to the left when you see the sign, and one more time back. And now you have to go forward, and on the second door you go right. And if you see this sign on the left, that means you're good and you can just hug the right wall, I mean. And every time there's a right turn, you take it, and you should be out of here in no time. Just be careful to not crash on any of these enemies. Now after you're out of there, 4 gunners have spawned, so you have to be really careful. Take care of this guy, just use this head angle like I did, you should be good. Now to take care of the left guy. The right guy is not supposed to charge, but if he charges you can just prioritize him. Take care of the left guy like this very easily. And if they charge you, you can just beat up on the stairs. If they do not, what you do is that you dodge forward to the pillar where the bin is, hug the right side of the pillar and just take care of them. They will not charge you and they will not push you if they haven't done it already. Now after you take the fuses and you cross these 2 beds for one last time, you just have to walk back to the train, no threats.
Back to the train. Sitting here like a fool. Feels like it was just a few seconds ago I was traveling here. No, think straight. I got hit by a car, woke up, and these things have been trying to kill me since. I mean, what is actually happening with me? Mom keeps telling me to get home, but why? How would that solve any of the crazy shit I've seen? I can't even contact the police here. Everything is just fucked. Could it be that I'm just hallucinating? No, seriously. Am I? Or is there something else? I keep thinking back at that doctor guy. Well, he is crazy, alright. But could he have done something to me? Seeing as he wears a gas mask. Or is all this just not real? I'm confused. I'm just very confused. So many questions, but no answers. I'll see what happens when I come home.
Now for the train section, if you know the spawns, it's actually really easy. So I can get rid of the streets that you cross the line. where they spawn, you just slowly position yourself so you cannot see his back. Just shoot him down. Don't be afraid. One more spawns on the right over here. You can do this and just slowly tap his head. I used my Glock here because I couldn't see very well. Same thing. Now for the next card, be careful when you go in because you probably knows you, finish him off with the Glock easily. And now one of the window tools will spawn, go to the right and just tap him away. Now one more awaits you. Cross this one, be careful, go back here and just tap this guy away too. Now this is the dark training card, no enemy spawn here, only 2 mags for the M4, which are useful. So for this next one, the only card they have to spawn is to go here to spawn them and then they will jump back on the seat and they will not push you, they cannot charge you, they will never hit you with this, so they can just easily shoot them down one by one. Careful for this window guy, because the cover is a little bit far apart, you have to take. And you have to pick him to just see the back. If you go a little bit to the left, he might hit your arm and you will die. So yeah, be careful with this one. Now this is the last card, and we have to take care of 4 window dudes, so first to just cross this pair of seats and just carefully take them out. You can take out the first one by picking him in the usual position, and the second one by shooting him in the head, like this. For the last 2 enemies, the first one spawns on the right, use this position to easily take care of him. And for the last one, walk a little bit forward, spawn him, go back to the right, and just finish him off like the rest. And that will be the train section. Pretty easy stuff if you know what you're doing.
Shit. My back.
Now for the climbing part, I highly recommend you use exactly the jumps I use here, because they sometimes just, there's a place where you're like, yeah, I can jump on this, but it simply does not work. And I also want to point out that it's easier to climb on the poles than some broken doors, as dumb as the place sound. Like for example this one, if you try to jump on the door, it's almost impossible, but in the fall you get up easily. Also over here on the end, don't go to the door on the left, because there is a very high chance you get soft lock. Just go to the right and jump off and you should be good. Now we are almost done with the segment, and it's basically the first half of the forest area in the game. There's not really much going on, you just walk from door to door, so yeah, just follow the lamps and you should be out of here. So this is the last area where you can die in the segment by the showrunner, and he will start chasing you when you pick up the doorknob. Now there is a arrow on the floor, this points to the door supposedly, but it just points you a little bit more to the left than it has to. So when you cross this bush, I highly recommend you step a little bit to the right and don't do it like I do it here, because I almost fumbled. If you manage to pass this segment, congratulations, you are done with segment number 5 and you are really close to the end of the game. So we're gonna use the last save here and get ready for segment number 6. Okay, final segment of the game, and we start off by crouch jumping through this window to get out of here quickly and go towards the left side. And what you want to do is to bait 2 or 3 enemies to chase you, and you have to get them close to the rope so they cut it. This is a little known trick, so instead of going through to get the scissors and get body blocked by the thousand enemies this place has, you can just bait them around, 2 of them, and do this. It's actually safer than getting the scissors, especially for no damage runs. Now for this section, you just hug the right wall as right as you can and go forward up until you see the lamp. When you see the lamp, just go to the left and keep hugging the left wall. And when you see this tree over here, go to the right and you're out of here. Now for this bunker section, there's not much to be said here. Just try not to get knocked over by any of the doors, and yeah, that's pretty much about it for this section. To get around this really loud enemy, just go to the door, hug the left wall, and then go to the right, and you won't get hit. Now we arrive at the mental asylum, and it's not that difficult actually. So we start off by going to the basement and turning the power on. The solution to this puzzle is 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple as that. Now what we want to do is go down here and get ourselves armed, so start by dodging this enemy by jumping to the right, and now what you have to do is you have to bait out this gunner to basically push you. This is the only way you can kill him actually. In this difficulty you just have to keep doing this until he decides to push you. Sometimes, like in this instance, he does not push you, so what I do is I go through the door to get a gun, which I have to do later anyway, in the hopes his AI gets resetted or something, and then I try to bait him out again. And this time it was successful, and you just want to go as close to him as possible, and when you go really close to this enemy he just shoots himself. This is also very useful for the start of segment 4 with a lot of gunners. You can do that also if you don't want to waste any ammo. Now steadily just pick these guys out. Pretty simple stuff, they rarely seem to hit you. Grab the Glock ammo, the shotgun shells if you wish, but don't get the shotgun, you don't really need it, it just wastes your space. Now when you get back here, be careful, because an enemy has spawned on the right. Carefully take him down. And this is the only type of this kind of enemy that spawns up here, so before you go to the cell you have to take care of this enemy with the remaining bullets you have, because the ammo you have for this section is really precise. So before you reload to take out the first axe dude, it's good to shoot this harmless enemy first. Grab this Glock ammo now and go meet the doctor.
What the fuck do you want? You're crazy.
Come closer.
I'm close enough.
Come closer.
I can't. There's a big fucking gate in the way.
That's why I want you to come closer. I'll help you.
How?
I need a gun.
You got a gun. The subway. The guy you shot. Remember?
I want a new gun.
Look, just open the gate, will you? I'm tired of all this.
No. There's a new gun in the bowling alley. Get it for me. Now.
I know. I have it already.
Good. Give it to me right now. It's mine. Then I'll give you the key.
Now over here we choose to give him the gun
There's no ammo
to
in
get a
the
good
book.
ending. The drawback to this is that we lose 1/3 of our
Give me the
maximum HP, which we do not really care about that since this is a no damage round after all.
You crazy bastard! I'll kill you!
Okay, so after we retake control, grab the Glock ammo on the right and use the key on the cell door. Now grab the key nearby the phone and go back. And when you go back, get ready because an enemy will have spawned over here. It's really dangerous, so just don't hesitate on using most of your ammo on this guy. He usually takes like 9 bullets and he gets stunned on the 4th. The 2 more have spawned over here. I bait one guy out, shoot him in the chest. Now I drop my lamp over here again and bait one more guy. He's opposite to this door. Always reload before facing one of these guys. Always, you don't have time to reload while he's charging, you will get hit. don't forget about this Glock ammo, and then use the key on the staff door, I think it's the staff door, to get the plate. I also drop my lamp over there for when I go out of here, because he almost instantly breaks the door, so I can be ready to see him when he charges at me. When you get out of here, be ready. Okay, take him out. And now there's one more guy on the right of the door, sharp right. So reload your weapon and go in. Be really careful with these guys. They can really just get a cheap hit on you while they're charging. Be really careful. And now you want to bait this guy out, like do this movement on the window until he moves, and when he moves he will just stand there looking at you, so you can use the remaining of your ammo to chip him out a bit and finish him off. Go inside and take the second half of the plate. Now when you get back to the lobby, one last hammer dude has spawned, so we're gonna use the remaining ammo we have. Here I was really lucky. You're supposed to have like 2 or 3 more bullets left. I had just enough bullets to kill this last guy, so this is like the best outcome you can have, like 3 bullets remaining. So how this puzzle works is like the first 4 digits are always the same and the rest are randomized. I think it's like 2 or 3 possible passwords if I'm not mistaken. Now we look at Real Simon to get the code. You can just look at it by aiming your gun. You don't have to use the telescope. The code is always randomized, so of course you cannot skip it like many others in this game. So let's go up and get ready for the doctor fight. Now if you grab this ammo, there's one more ammo on the box we're going to hide. So when you initiate the fight and the cutscene skips, just quickly move behind this box with a crouch, line yourself up like this, and now if you just stay here, the doctor won't be able to hit you. He will pick around and you can shoot him, but he will never shoot you. And on top of that, the gunners that spawn are behind that pillar on the right. I'll tell you when they spawn, and you have to kill them so you can get their ammo after the fight, which we're going to use on the drowners on the sewers. So now this fight is not hard. If you do this, it's just pretty tedious. You just, like I said, sit behind this box, chip him away slowly. If he goes to the far left and he picks on top of the box, you cannot see him. You can try to slowly pick him if you'd like, but I don't recommend. Just wait it out. You have plenty of time left for the S rank anyway. And now, like I said, the gunners spawn behind that pillar. They will never charge you, they will just sit here and wait for you to headshot them. I recommend you kill them during the boss fight, because if you kill the doctor they will despawn if they are still alive. And you want to kill them because they will drop you 3 extra mags for the Glock, and you really need them to be safer on the next section.
Simon, the pills by itself won't make you feel better. You have to do something more than that. I recommend that you try a new modern treatment called cognitive therapy.
What's that?
Well, it's a set of exercises you do. A way to forget the past, all the bad memories and anxiety you have. Are you interested in books, Simon?
I don't know. Why?
Alright. I just wanted to find out. Because I want you to try out something. I want you to write a book. A book about how you feel. Do you think you can do that?
I guess so. I can try.
Alright, now after you kill the doctor, all you need to grab is the keys and get the ammo from the gunners you killed. Hopefully it's 3 Glock mags to be extra safe. And you are good to go. Now basically it's just a walk to the boat. There are no enemies whatsoever in the next few areas up until you get off the boat. Okay, now we are really close to the end of the game, and if you still somehow manage to have one more save left and the cassette tape with you, this is where I recommend you save. So we start by breaking the stairs, wait a little bit for them to charge on the left and then go to the right, and when you pass the door on the left, wait 1 second and then go to the right. This is the most consistent way to avoid these enemies every time. So now there are 3 of these droning enemies. So most people just jump around them by using these little bit ledges or catwalks on the left and right. But I didn't find that very consistent because they always seem to flank you really quickly, and when you get to the third counter you just get body blocked. So I killed the first 2 with my Glock and I jump over this dude. So yeah, I found this to be way more consistent. Oh, I didn't even jump over, I went around even safer. So yeah, this is the safest way to deal with these 3 guys without needing to be a parkour expert. Now for this whole swimming section, there's nothing really much to be said about it. Just go up and take some air every time you can. The crouch fast regen for your stamina works over here like I do right now. You can do that to get stamina back even quicker. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You just swim, be careful not to drown, remember the path, and yeah, you should be fine. Be careful now when you grab the doorknob, the showrunner will spawn one last time. If you grab it really quickly, he won't even follow you, like over here. So now just get the doorknob back to the door where you're supposed to go, and that's pretty much it for the sewer section. After all this time, we're actually out in Kirkville, and not only that, it's actually broad daylight for a change. But do not let that fool you. Kirkville can be really, really lethal, especially in Nightmare, because almost every spawn in this area and the next one are RNG. So we start off by baiting this one on the left to check if the spawn is active. If he's active, he will just shoot the air until there is one bullet remaining in his gun and he will shoot himself. This enemy, when he runs out of ammo, he basically just shoots himself. And this is the only area in the game you can take advantage of that. So I go up the stairs and check if one more spawn is up on the right. It was clear, I didn't see anyone. So before picking the ammo up, go here on the fence and slowly pick this guy that can be behind the lamp. Usually you can shoot him behind the lamp, but he spotted me way too early for some reason, but I managed to headshot him. In this way it's normally way safer. So don't forget to check every corner, grab the ammo, and also grab a really and much handy M4 over here. Now after you've checked on the left side too, that means that all the gunner spawns are cleared and you can proceed. Ignore that baby running behind you. So now wait a little bit, because the spawns can be a little bit late. So now, when I pick to the left, I hear two babies running at me, and now this might be a little bit cheesy and I played it safe, but I couldn't do it any other way. When you exit and re-enter a room, the spawns have resetted, and I took advantage of that over here because there is absolutely no way you can do this with these spawns without getting damaged. So yeah, I slowly just trigger them, shoot them once, go back in, go back out, come back in, and get rid of every enemy that spawned in the house. Now after you've made sure the house is clear, slowly pick the door to the garden. For me, only one hammer dude spawned, but it can be like an exploding baby and 1 to 2 hammer dudes. Every spawn in this area, it's RNG, it's really heavy luck dependent. Sometimes it can screw you over really bad, sometimes it can be almost nothing. I think there's an instance where an exploding baby can spawn inside the house. If that happens to you, good luck. So chop away the bed, and after you made sure the front garden is clear, always check the back. An exploding baby spawned for me. I use my shotgun to check it out. Grab this M4 arm on the back, very much needed. And now we're basically in the last line of this game, almost. Now for the final area, what you want to do is to slowly clear these deep angles, using the bush as a cover so they won't charge you or shoot you from 500 meters away, because they tend to do that if you don't have any cover, and they can headshot you as well. So clear every angle, slowly and steadily. Use the bushes and the car for cover. And I think there can be a lot of gunner spawns actually in this area. There can be up to 5, I think I got 4. So yeah, be extra careful in this area. And now after you've cleared out this area, the last threat that can possibly damage you is this crawling dude. You can spawn up to 2, but he's not much of a threat, you can just dodge him. And if you manage to go to this door and over here, congratulations, you most likely beat the game. It's really hard to screw up on the wheelchair section.
Finally.
So yeah, let's get to the ending
I
of
hope
this
Mom's okay.
game.
Mom? Mom! Where are you?
Okay, for the wheelchair section, it's really straightforward. So you have to just basically shoot Simon every time he appears. Reload your weapon every time after you encounter him. You will encounter him 3 times where he peeks around corners, and 1 time at the end where he lights the flare and he charges you with a sledgehammer. It's really straightforward. Just don't forget to reload your gun every time you finish one of the encounters, and you will be alright. Also, damage taken in this section is unavoidable, and also it does not count at the overall damage taken in the stat screen at the end, so don't worry about that. so I will let you now enjoy the ending and the credits. My stats are at the end of the video, you can check them out there if you would like.
I stopped
So
myself
that's pretty
from
much
doing
it. Thank you all for watching,
from committing
and see
suicide.
you in the next video.
But it didn't only leave me alive, it also left 2 police officers dead. I killed them. Shot them both. This was not supposed to happen. Doctors testified that I was having a psychosis, which means that my punishment won't be too hard for me to bear. I have to spend the rest of my life in a mental hospital, where nurses and doctors are taking care of me. They let me finish my book, and it has helped me a lot. I wrote a happy ending, just for myself. I feel better now. I am more at peace with myself, even though I'm still stuck in this wheelchair. But I accept that now. I can never forgive myself for shooting those 2 officers, though. But I have so many supportive people around me now, so I think I will be okay. Dr. Purnell is mentoring me and is watching my progress. I am lucky to have him. Sophie visits me every once in a while. When the doctors let her, that is. They still think her visits are too destabilizing for me and that it hinders my progress. I keep on telling her how sorry I am for making her life miserable every time she's here. She just laughs a bit and tells me to stop being so silly. But I can see the damage I've done to her in her eyes every time she looks at me. She found a new friend, one who is there for her and treats her right. I'm happy for her, though I'll miss the good moments we've had, knowing that they'll never come back. I think this is a good time to close this book. It has changed my life forever. The end.